Real rejects. Real rejects. We're late to start the story. We're way late to this.
Weeks after the premiere.
After so many patrons or super sexy rejects have been requesting this, I was like, all right, okay. Yeah, let's do this. We're going to churn out our reactions for one of the most popular Netflix series, apparently, Wednesday. I'm excited to see it only because people keep harassing us at our Patreon page, and that harassment has paid off. John, how are you?
I am excited. I'm looking forward to this. How are you?
Good. You're an Addams Family guy, aren't you?
I'm an Addams Family guy.
I'm an Addams Family guy. He said it! Ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. You got to leave a like. That's the first request that we have for you. It helps out the video. It doesn't take too much effort on your end. Please go ahead and do it. Also, subscribe and click that notification bell because, yeah, we got to get through all 8 of these episodes. You want to get notified when our reaction is up. As always, full-length reaction watch-alongs where you sync up with your own copy are available for super sexy rejects at our Patreon page. And over there, we cover some shows exclusively at the same tier with reaction highlights and watch-alongs included. Thank you to all of our patrons who have helped us have a very successful year at the Reject Nation. Let's see what all the hype is about. I haven't seen anything about this. Let's see what's going on.
I'm not sure whose twisted idea it was to put hundreds of adolescents in underfunded schools run by people whose dreams were crushed years ago.
This guy.
Good morbid point. This feels like an 80s high school movie.
Man, just as colorful. Pugsley.
Pugsley.
I want names.
Don't know who they were. It happened so fast.
Pugsley, emotion equals weakness. Pull yourself together.
Smack him.
Psychic abilities.
I'm not about to confess to my brother that I've recently been plagued by visions. I feel like electroshock therapy, but without the satisfying afterburn.
What are you gonna do?
What I do best.
Murder. She's got that walk down.
They had to be swimmers, didn't they?
The only person who gets to torture my brother is me.
Oh, no.
Yep. Oh, God.
Oh, that is cruel.
Oh, yeah.
Go get him.
Oh, yeah.
Get him.
Can already feel it.
Get the main guy.
Yeah.
What an opening.
Contain your glee.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Guest starring them. Oh, Danny Elfman did the music. Cool.
Hey.
Tim Burton directed it, huh?
Lurch.
Oh, my goodness.
I promise you, my little viper, you will love nevermore.
I have no interest in following in your footsteps, becoming captain of the fencing team, queen of the dark prom, president of the Seance Society.
Seance Society.
You'll learn about emotion.
That boy's family was going to file attempted murder charges. How would that have looked on your record?
Terrible.
Pretty great.
Everyone would know I failed to get the job done.
Eyes on the prize Wednesday.
Is this some kind of, not exactly Hogwarts school, but kind of?
It runs right past Nevermore.
A school for outcasts?
Well, that's a polite way of putting it.
Oh, so Nevermore's kind of like Xavier School.
Basically.
Goddamn werewolves.
There's been murder, and someone's responsible.
Wednesday is certainly a unique name.
There she is.
Did your mother tell you we were roommates back in the day?
And you graduated with your sanity intact? Impressive.
Ouch.
Ouch.
I've assigned you to your mother's old dorm, Ophelia Hall.
Oh, Ophelia's the one who killed herself after being driven mad by her family.
Shakespeare fan. Yep.
Welcome to Ophelia Hall. Not a hugger.
She's allergic to color.
What happens to you?
I break out into hives and then the flesh peels off my bones.
Yikes. The perfect opposite for Wednesday.
Welcome to the quad.
Definitely looks a bit like Hogwarts.
Or the Fangs, aka vampires.
Check.
That bunch of knuckleheads are furs, aka werewolves.
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 I'm assuming scales are sirens.
You catch on quick. And that girl, Bianca Barclay, is the closest thing Nevermore has to royalty.
Oh my. Cool.
She used to date a resident tortured artist, Xavier Thorpe, but they broke up at the beginning of the semester.
Resident tortured artist.
Totally chowed down on that kid she murdered. You better watch your back.
Ajax, this is my new roommate, Wednesday.
Is he a Medusa?
You're in black and white, like a living Instagram filter.
Ignore him. Gorgon spent way too much time getting stoned.
Stoned. Ha.
Oh, you know, you should really get on Insta, Snapchat, and TikTok.
I find social media to be a soul-sucking void of meaningless affirmation.
Thank you.
Yes.
Follow me at the Greg album.
Yes, Queen.
Look at you, my little death trap.
Any plans you have of running away end right now?
I will escape this educational penitentiary.
I got you a little something. W. M. It's made of obsidian,
Ooh.
which Aztec priests used to conjure visions.
Ah.
And it'll help you solve some murders.
I am not you, Mother. I will never fall in love, or be a housewife, or have a family.
Or accept this direct metaphor for that.
You're more alike than you realize, Wednesday.
Our little scorpion won't be alone.
Thing. Let's do this.
What the hell did you do to my room? Dividing our room equally.
That's some great production design.
Silence would be appreciated. This is my writing time.
Your writing time?
With the loudest machine possible.
By the way, there are 2 Ds in Addams. If you're going to gossip about me, at least spell my name correctly. Turn that off. This is your final warning. Ah!
Ooh, hey. You a werecat?
Evening, girls. Oh, sorry about the mud. Wanted to make sure
Oh,
Wednesday
shit.
was settling in.
She was series regular?
I guess.
It's cool. Tim Burton brings her back. She played Wednesday. That's cool.
I want to go over a few house rules. Lights off at 10, no loud music, and no boys. Ever.
Yeah, okay. That's really cool they got her on the show.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh my god, she's got action hero skills, doesn't she?
She's gonna do several backflips.
Maybe if you whined less and practiced more, you wouldn't suck. Seriously, coach, when am I gonna get some real competition?
Right now.
You must be the psychopath they let in.
And you must be the self-appointed queen bee. Interesting thing about bees. Pull out their stingers and they drop dead.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Kill her.
Decapitate her, Wednesday. Become your mother.
Oh man, I love a good fencing scene.
Point to Wednesday.
Ouch.
I wonder how many times this was actually Jenna Ortega.
Score is even.
Made her mad now.
For the final point, I would like to invoke a military challenge. No masks, no tips. Winner draws first blood.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
Don't be a coward, Bianca. Nice. Get her.
Oh, dang. Whoa.
Wowie. Oh,
Ouch.
shit.
No one makes me bleed my own blood.
Your face finally got that splash of color it's so desperately needed.
Yikes. So like Jenna Ortega's like perfect.
It's meant to be. I mean,
she really is.
She just like has this gravitational pull on the whole screen.
Sorry about the Nick.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Danny Elfman had fun scoring this show. Every scene has so much music.
I know. That's got to be like an auxiliary character. The umbrella too. Art guy.
Tortured artist
Tortured artist guy, of course.
Welcome back. Just if it makes you feel any better, let's just say I returned the favor. It was my godmother's funeral. Apparently she was friends with your grandmother and they spent their 20s together in Europe swindling the rich and notorious.
Cool.
Decided to play hide and seek. I had the inspired idea to hide in her casket. Headed to the crematorium.
I had heard muffled screams. I just figured your godmother had somehow cheated death and was trying to claw her way out.
Either way, you hit the big red stop button and saved me from being flame broiled, so now we're even.
Aww. Could have both had an imaginative death.
I knew it. Hello, thing. Did you really think my highly trained olfactory sense wouldn't pick up on the faint whiff of neroli and bergamot in your favorite hand lotion?
Oh, it smells good.
Mother and father sent you to spy on me, didn't they?
It's a great effect.
You have two options. I lock you in here for the rest of the semester, and you go slowly insane trying to claw your way out.
Wow.
2, you pledge your undying loyalty to me.
Do it.
Do it, thing. Bend the knee.
I wonder who they hired to play Thing, because they're doing a great job on emoting so much through that one hand.
I want to know what that audition was like.
Yeah, you got to do a lot. You can feel like there's a face there.
Well, and doing like sign language in that position too. Like, this is a cool addition.
Dr. Kimbert's office is on the 2nd floor.
And you'll be waiting here until I'm done?
Perhaps afterwards we can visit the weather vane for hot chocolate.
Principal Weems, this feeble attempt at bonding is beneath you.
Miller and go.
Hey.
Yeah.
I hope we can forge a relationship based on trust.
You are not the right therapist for her.
My personal philosophy is kill or be killed.
So, for instance, when someone bullies your brother, your response is to dump piranha in the pool.
You know the old saying, never bring a knife to a sword fight, unless it's concealed.
No remorse for your actions. That's why you're here.
He lost a testicle. I did the world a favor. People like Dalton shouldn't be allowed to procreate. I've answered all your questions.
We're not done yet.
Oh, interesting. You might be the right therapist.
Editors are short-sighted, fear-based life forms. One once described my writing as gratuitously morbid and suggested I seek psychiatric help.
Hence?
I sent her a thank you.
Whoa!
Would you mind if I use the powder room first?
Wednesday? Is everything okay?
I think Tim Burton did a great job with this pilot.
Yeah, it's restrained but still stylish.
You have to find the right tone where you don't get too introspective or it ruins the morbid fun.
It's literally playing cat and mouse with emotional development. Yes, put those creepers to work.
You goddamn weirdo.
Let him die.
That reminds me of that Christopher Walken sketch from SNL.
I mean, spoiler alert, the espresso machine's having a seizure, so all we have is drip.
But drip is for people who hate themselves and know their lives have no real purpose or meaning.
I'm just gonna leave that here.
I'm Tyler, by the way. I didn't catch your name, or is that on a need-to-know basis, too?
Wednesday.
do not hate you.
I drive you to Burlington myself.
Perfect. Put that quad in a to-go cup.
But I don't get off for another hour.
You do now.
I can't be bought, so either wait or find someone else to drive you.
Respect.
Tyler, you'd be good for her.
Hey, boys, check it out. Who's that? Oh, come on, look at that.
Oh, great.
Pilgrims. Eat me.
What's a nevermore freak doing out in the wild?
This is our booth.
Why are you three just like religious fanatics?
We're pilgrims.
Potato, potato.
We work at Pilgrim World.
Pilgrim World.
It takes a special kind of stupid to devote an entire theme park to zealots responsible for mass genocide.
You ever been with a normie?
I've never found one that could handle me.
She's got them comebacks, dude.
Those big wide swings.
So where do you learn those kung fu moves?
My uncle taught me. He spent 5 years in a Tibetan monastery.
Uncle Fester.
Was he a monk?
Prisoner.
Apologies, Sheriff. This one slipped away from me. Come on, Miss Addams, time to go.
You're an Addams?
Oh, no.
Tell me Gomez Addams is your father? That man belongs behind bars for murder. Guessing the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I'm gonna keep my eye on you.
Okay.
Challenge accepted.
She always picks the right moments to smile.
Well, it looks like an accident. I hope the driver's okay.
Funny.
Broke his neck.
I think you're tough, Miss Angle.
Ooh!
Gross.
Wowie. Oh, cool. Let's go, Apocalyptica.
Ooh, I like this.
Dude, she actually learned how to work the neck. Book.
Tom Riddle.
He's like the combination of Tom Riddle and David Krumholtz from Addams Family Values. Zal Gomez.
The mom dead?
I guess so. Maybe Gomez killed his wife.
Awesome. Great.
No, I don't really feel better.
Where's the rest of him?
It's one of the great Addams Family mysteries.
Nah, we need a whole origin series. Spin-off.
Why aren't you wolfing out? Because I can't. I've been to the best lichenologist. Had to fly to Milwaukee, would you believe it? You know, she says there's a chance I might never. My life would be officially over.
I like how they're always framed like that.
Yeah.
Why are you crying?
Because I'm upset. Haven't you ever cried? Are you above that too?
I cried once on top of a mountain.
Tears of joy after murdering someone.
I was 6 years old. I took my pet scorpion Nero out for his afternoon stroll and we were ambushed.
Have a nice cream.
They wondered what kind of freak would have a scorpion for a pet.
Aww.
2 of them held me down and made me watch.
Oh, no.
Buddy. Run, Nero.
Oh, that is cruel. Must be a core memory.
I cried my little black heart out.
That is a really cool tombstone.
With the black dahlia to top it off.
Your secret's safe with me. I still think you're weird as shit, though.
The feeling is incredibly mutual.
They have really good chemistry.
Yeah.
They don't sound like they're reading lines together.
No. Yeah. Sounded like just an actual
There's
scene.
A couple of other actors, I wouldn't say the same. Yeah.
You harm one hair on Fing's palm, reverse palm.
This isn't weird at all.
Cool. You should have led with that.
Yeah.
Just hi.
Just roll over.
That's Thing.
Is he like your pet?
There's the Harvest Festival this weekend. Attendance is mandatory. If you are still willing to drive me to the train station, I can make it worth your while.
Consider it a freebie.
Why?
At least one of us will get out of this hellhole town.
Stand up to your dad.
Doesn't exactly feel 100% like old Tim Burton, but like Big Fish Tim Burton, you know?
A little bit,
like right around that time of Tim Burton's career.
Big eyes, big fish.
Still better than like 99% of the things Tim Burton does today.
I'll take this, yeah. I'll take this over
way
another
better.
Dumbo or whatever else.
I haven't seen Riverdale, but this gives me
It's-
vibes of what I've heard about Riverdale.
Yeah, I bet Sabrina probably has some thematic tissue with this.
You get any better at this, you'll be taking home a whole pack.
Pandas don't travel in packs. They prefer the solitude.
Subtle hint taken.
I'm going to stick around.
You see that sad, lonely woman over there? Would you mind distracting her?
Girl, you got money to spare.
I know. It's your side hustle Wednesday.
It's your dad's police file from when he was at Nevermore.
I'm not used to people engaging with me. Mostly me coming in across the street.
You're not scary, you're just kind of kooky.
And mysterious and spooky. And altogether ooky.
That's a Jesus Christ Resurrection act.
We can lose him in the crowd.
I think Wednesday could take them on.
Oh, no.
Oh, girl, you're going to need to stay behind.
Face the raven. Face the raven.
Rowan, come back!
How many guy friends does Wednesday have?
How many pale, somewhat blonde, white guy friends who all look like leads in various Tim Burton movies?
What do you want? Why are you following me?
I don't have time to explain, but you're in danger.
You're going to end up like the lanky guy from Stranger Things.
I think you've got it backwards.
I am the danger.
The gargoyle. That was you?
Girl in the picture. That's you.
No.
Put me down.
No! My mother said it was my destiny to stop this girl if she ever came to Nevermore because she will destroy the school and everyone in it.
Wow.
You need more evidence.
Wow! Oh, damn. There's a mislead. Gollum,
Damn.
you let yourself go.
The eyes look like that truck driver, but I'm wondering if it's the cop's son. No, torture artist. The mysteries afoot, kids.
Which love interest will it be?
Discovered that my father may be a murderer. Learned that I could potentially destroy the school. And was mysteriously saved by a homicidal monster. I think I'm going to love it here.
Kudos.
Nice.
This story is about to take a dark turn.
Are we supposed to watch this?
I don't feel like it's necessary.
Yeah, I'm going to stop this just in case.
Yeah, we're going to watch it. You don't need to convince me to keep
I don't know if that
going.
was like something shot just for this as a joke, but
It
to play it
seems like the
safe,
episode
you
is
can yell
over.
at us in the comments if we're supposed to be watching that. All right, let's talk about it. That was great. That was really well done. That was really, really well done. Well, this is one of those Netflix reactions, so you know what that means, that the review part of this, we will attempt to keep it short because there's really no point. Most of you guys already know how the show ends, and you're really much just come on to the next one. Watch the next episode. Go. We'd like to talk about it a little bit. I think a pilot deserves it. I thought this was a really solid pilot. I think that I was really drawn to the fact that Tim Burton, I didn't know he directed it. I heard his name was attached, but I didn't know he was someone who actually helmed any of the episodes. So to it gave me a different kind of observant eye because I haven't watched some of his later films. I have seen some of his later films, but some of his earlier work are some of my favorite films of all time.
Sure.
And it was cool to see some more of that Tim Burton flair come back. And I think what they're doing here with setting up because it doesn't, like, while there's little winks and nods to Addams Family, it doesn't feel reliant on it. Like, I think you can watch this without having had any awareness of Addams Family. While there's elements that play on a certain element of nostalgia and certain winks, it doesn't feel like it's necessary to be aware of Addams Family to enjoy it, because even with its like macabre tone, I think the way how Tim Burton struck a certain specific kind of tone with its narrative, because they're doing something where you are doing a bit more of an introspective look at Wednesday Addams and putting her into more of a modern day world, obviously, because we're talking about social media and all that shit. So it takes place in modern day, and yet it still has an old school flair to it, while simultaneously doing a lot more of this type of morbid, macabre sensibility. It's not. It doesn't. When they introduce like the therapy segment, sometimes a thing can get like kind of divided in itself. The project can get divided of like what exactly kind of energy or story are we trying to tell, and it doesn't try to go too realistic on Wednesday Addams, which you can't really do, but you can do just enough to kind of understand her. Like, you get her traumatic backstory with her pet scorpion, and examining some parts of her upbringing that she does feel resentful towards. And I like this journey that they set up with her. And needless to say, Jenna Ortega is as anything you see Jenna Ortega in. She again is
a bright spot.
She's perfect. She's absolutely perfect in this role. I can see her becoming, and maybe she is for some people already, the definitive Wednesday Addams. And I think that's pretty neat to have Christina Ricci in here too, as the person who's like done works with Tim Burton in the past, some of his best work, and some of her best work. And of course, being Wednesday Addams, was it 2 films? There's 2 films.
Yeah,
right?
in both the Barry Sonnenfeld films, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool to have her return. There's a lot I really liked about it. There are some little qualms that I don't feel like overshadow my experience that I'll go into. But for now, those are my positives. There's more to positively highlight, like music and shit. But Jonathan Humphreyton.
Yes.
What did you think, good sir? Ramble on.
Yeah, ramble on. I like this. I like this as a pilot. Pilots can be kind of, tricky, but I thought this nailed itself down as a nice kind of well-proportioned piece. And yes, as somebody who, too, has a lot of love for various Tim Burton joints and a lot of wariness for where his career is currently at, I kind of got what you meant when you said partway through the episode, like it doesn't feel like the most Tim Burton it could possibly be. It doesn't feel like this is a full-on Tim Burton movie iteration of what an Addams Family world would look like. However, I feel like this is kind of the right environment for him because, with the budgets of these kinds of series, you don't have... you can get to the point where you have huge effects budgets, but clearly right now this show isn't relying on those. And so I feel like there's enough kind of restriction to keep Tim Burton in the tangible, where I think he works arguably the best some of the time. And this is a series I think will probably have at least a few other directors in the mix. And so there's also that element of like, yeah, I feel like even if he is a huge guiding creative voice on this, it won't just be the Tim Burton show. And yeah, while parts of me are like, oh man, go even further, I'm also happy to see that, yeah, right now they're taking their time to gradually set this up and to find the tone and balance between being just comic strip enough, but not too comic strip, like you pointed out. And so coming into this, I had reasons to be wary just because this is a Wednesday Addams and the Addams Family are characters that lend themselves to this kind of thing, but this is also a very here and now take where it is very Riverdale, very Sabrina, very sort of like, okay, we're going to make her some kind of mystery solver. We're going to put her at the core of a lot of converging storytelling factors that are very popular to right now, and it could go either way. And right now, at least, I feel like it's going in a direction that I'm happy to keep following, and that doesn't, give me at least right now, it's not ringing the wariness bell of like, oh, here we go. You know, like I'm actually happy to see Wednesday grow in herself, as well as, you know, kind of confronting her ability to interface with other people. And I've heard people say that Wednesday is sort of coded in a sort of autistic kind of way, not to you know, be insensitive, but to actually just be like, that's kind of how they are portraying just the way she experiences the world as a character. And I think that's kind of a neat and interesting undertone, and that kind of helps actually to inform the stuff that's real, the stuff about being an outcast and the stuff about being misunderstood for just how you engage with the world. And I feel like that is stuff that for a Wednesday Addams-like character you can shine the light on and expound upon and make interesting, while also not dispelling the mystique of the character. And it was like a great choice where they're like, how did Thing become what he is? And they're like, I don't know, it's one of the great Addams Family mysteries. I was like, good. It seems like they have a good grip on where to flesh out versus where to keep the mystery and keep the comic strip slightness that, then goes to sell the sort of wry, sardonic nature of this whole universe in general. So, I think they did the fish out of water nicely, but they also gave you
big fish.
Yay, big fish out of Lady in the Water's a Shyamalan. It's not like a Tim Burton water pun, is there? I'll get there someday. Planet of the Apes, all of us men folk, haha. But I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm glad we saw the rest of the Addams family here, and if we're gonna see anybody the most, I'm glad it's Thing. I would kind of like to see the rest of the family too, or like stop by the Addams house just to feel like, because this is its own new universe ostensibly. So I would like to, by the end of this, get a whole sense for what the Addams family life is like.
Yeah, I think the environment's really good here, though. We're setting at this Nevermore High School.
Yeah.
Very Hogwarts meets Xavier School for the Gifted.
Yeah.
It's a cool layer, and I like the aesthetics a lot of what they've brought to life. I think they've really nailed that down. And there's a good blend of practical and CGI. I mean, the Tim Burton of today is going to be very annoying with the CGI, because that's, like you have consistently pointed out over the years, of how CGI has become like the death for Tim Burton in a lot of ways. And I appreciated that it seemed like there are times where I'm like, okay, it took me a while to tell that was CGI.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, it seemed like they only really used it when they needed to.
Sure.
And even at times when it looks a little wonky, it doesn't bother me, because it's part of the spirit, and like the werewolf at the end looks like really, it's not the greatest CGI. But it doesn't bother me, because as long as the emotionality and the engagement with the scene is still happening, then that's all that really counts.
Reminded me of Goosebumps.
The part that made me go 90s, like in the beginning, it starts off like 80s high school movie, but the parts that make me feel like a 90s movie, which I guess is appropriate for the Addams Family movies were 90s, right?
Yeah,
I think
like
they were
early 90s. Yeah,
was when the Gwendoline Christie pulls up in the family van to the therapist. I'm like, I haven't seen that van since like the 90s. That's when I had that awareness of it. And I mean, like the roommate and her, I feel like have amazing chemistry. I think it's really good, and I could see already the inception of that, how that's going to evolve over time. Because there's other scenes that, especially when it comes to pilots, where I can hear the actor reading together.
Sure.
I could hear a bit of the audition sides, as they call them when you audition. And not that, like, everyone here, I thought, actually did a really good job. It was just certain, like, chemistry read scenes where, like, with the first scene with the self-tortured artist. I don't want this to sound like I didn't like that. Like, I appreciate all the context, and I think they both did a good job. But that did have a sound to it that was like, sounds like actors like reading together, and then also the guy in the coffee shop, Tyler. But I still like them, though. I don't want that to sound like I still like them, but there are times where it kind of pulled me out, and I do think there was, like, this is like pure Danny Elfman score, and I love that. I love that. Like, it's Danny Elfman's score with Tim Burton. It's fun. It's just awesome to hear that. And I love most of the music. There were times, rarely out of an hour-long episode, but there were times where I'm like, you can kind of lower the volume a little bit.
We get it, guys.
Because sometimes when it didn't have music, I was more pulled into the scene.
Yeah.
And sometimes it becomes a little overwhelming.
Sure.
And a little
overbearing.
Yeah, and most people probably aren't watching this with headphones like we are.
Yes.
So to watch it with like headphones that really get the surround sound, like there is so much, like the music does not stop.
Yeah.
That being said, I'd rather have the music than not have the music. Like I said, when I said qualms, I would say they were like little. I'm sure to some people they are not bothersome whatsoever, but it does have that classical gothic Danny Elfman tune that you'd want when you're hearing an adaptation of Wednesday Addams.
It almost feels like from behind the camera you can feel the enthusiasm. So as the viewer, you're like, okay, pull it back a little bit. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're doing your thing. Pull it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Restrain it a little bit, because that's kind of the nice surprise here is that while there are elements in which I would love to see them go incredibly bonkers, I do appreciate that for this pilot, it's restrained in the right ways.
Sure.
Yeah. And two, like you said, I think there is. I'll be interested to see how everybody acclimates to the dialogue, because this is one of those shows that I think also has a razor's edge to walk on when it comes to that kind of writing, because dialogue has to be stylized, and you've got to have everybody able to deliver it without it sounding too precocious or pretentious, or like, you think that your dialogue is super snappy and all that stuff. And I've heard, not really specifics, but I've heard tell of Jenna Ortega kind of throwing things out for takes and things like that, and a lot of those takes being the ones that made it to the final product. And so it seems like an exciting opportunity for one of those, sort of lightning in a bottle casting moments where, somebody becomes like the custodian of a character and like really infuses it with their own, sort of life and enthusiasm. And like I'm just excited to see how it builds. And it's like all the elements are here. Nothing is too out of whack to the point where I think it will, drop off or fall in a hole. But there's still like little bits of room for improvement. Obviously, like I want to see Uncle Fester at some point. I feel like that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most.
Said Fred Armisen's playing him?
Yes, I believe so. He appears like once in the trailer, I think. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was big excitement for me. Like, and I like the casting of the rest of the Addams. I really liked Pugsley a lot for his like brief inclusion. I want to see more of Luis Guzman and Catherine Zeta-Jones together, because I appreciate what the scenes necessitate them doing, but I also want to see them in like full form.
Sure. Yeah, I don't really
like they're fine.
I'm okay.
So
I'm
far.
okay with waiting for.
Yeah.
I'm not itching. I mean, you have more of a built-in love.
I guess maybe
Yeah.
the thing to circle back around to what you said earlier, like that's the one thing that I think you will benefit. Like you can, I think, watch this with no prior knowledge, and this will probably be the gateway for a lot of people into Addams anything. But if you've seen the old stuff, it kind of relies on you understanding those basic principles, because they're not going to use Morticia or Gomez or Pugsley very much, or Lurch or any of that. Like I don't know if any other auxiliary characters like Grandma or Cousin It or anything come into play. But yeah, like with those bits and pieces, when they're driving to the school, I thought they were first going to drive like to the Addams house just to establish that, and they don't have to. But that's something that does rely on sort of like, okay, either you'll catch up later or you just kind of know, and that's not what we're trying to do here, so we're going to brush past that stuff. But I don't think anybody would be lost or anything like that. Yeah. You get, once you get Wednesday and you see what family she comes from, you understand the gag of the Addams family. Yeah.
And I do think the comedy works, and I think the writing, and I don't know what lines Jenna Ortega is the ones that she came up with and the writers came up with, but I think there's a great type of witty comeback to how she delivers those lines and the way they're written too. Yeah, that always sound like that is what this character of Wednesday, how she would frame it. Like something as little as what does she say about the pilgrim shoe? The buckle shoe.
Oh, if the buckled shoe fits.
Yeah. Instead of saying if the shoe fits, she says if the buckled shoe fits. Just a little extra salt on there.
Oh yeah, every comeback she's always just as cool as she needs to be.
Yeah,
and it never fails her there, and that's good.
Yeah, and of course, with Thing, I think the effects of Thing are phenomenal, and the way because it's always been like a great gimmick of Thing, but it's never felt more alive. Like you really feel like a personality.
That's got to be a real hand.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it does make me wonder like how they filmed certain parts.
Sure. Sure, especially when it's less of like when it's just like a shot on thing. You're like, okay, I can see what probably happened here. But yeah, when in the more complex shots,
I'd be curious to know if like how many scenes were it like there must have been certain shots where they allowed Jenna Ortega to interact with the real hand.
Yeah,
like he was just there and she had to like zone out the green.
Not think about the dude in the blue body sock.
And just talk to the hand or literally talk to the hand. And I think the way there was so much expression, and I was surprised. Like both Thing and Jenna Ortega, they have that instant. I know this character.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And not because I know Adam. I don't know Adam's family that well. I really don't.
There's a very deep, complex lore you're missing.
I've seen the movie once, and I didn't even watch the sequel. So
that was a reaction,
and I didn't grow up.
Family values. Go watch that. Yeah,
I've seen like passing episodes of, as I didn't grow
the
up.
Cartoons.
Yeah, not the cartoons. Was there cartoons?
Weren't there cartoons?
Was there cartoons?
I feel like there were cartoons. I mean,
There's
there's certainly the
show.
comic strips. There was the black and white old
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah,
There's the movies. There's the animated movie they made recently.
Yeah. So I'm not that familiar, but like this interpretation I really got. But I like the mysteries they have afoot as well, and I think the supernatural angle is an intriguing one, very modern day.
She got those visions. She got those Christopher Walken visions.
That's not part of it, right?
Not my recollection of any Addams Family original
edition.
thing.
Okay. Yeah.
No, because I mean, like if we're going way back, like it's a lot more innocuous than that. And it's just mostly that fish out of water quality. And then in the movies with like Christina Ricci as Wednesday Addams, I don't remember there being any distinct telekinetic thing. They just kind of exist outside the realm of normal physics.
Yeah.
But I think this is a contrivance for this show, the whole death visions.
Well, yeah, she finds the right spirit to channel here, Jenna Ortega, because this easily could have been very one-note in caricature.
It could.
And she manages to...
She's always listening. She's always processing.
Yeah.
That's the great part.
While being a, that's dry delivery kind of character, she still finds just the right shades to express or emote a tiny bit more to clue us in. And there's always more going on behind the eyes than just like, don't blink and stare. There's always so much more happening. There's more soul to her. And I think that's a great touch. So, yeah, guys, solid first start for Wednesday. We'll see how the rest of the episodes go. The only thing I've heard is there's like a dance scene.
That is the meme.
That's the main thing I've heard. I haven't seen a moment of it. So
I've seen, if anything, I've seen the classic of the little girl, like black and white, doing the dance, but I don't know if it's the same dance.
Yeah, but
it's reminiscent at least.
That's all I've heard is there's some dance scenes.
So we'll have to limber up for that episode whenever that happens.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. All righty, guys. Well, what do you think about our reaction?
Should we react differently next time?
Yeah. Do we have to do it? It's just a little. What do we have to change here? Subscribe, leave a like, and listen to us with a Patreon.
James the Smith. You got that gothic spelling on your name. I like it. It's like old timey, like a Wednesday Addams mystery story plot. I hope you're feeling well here at the end of the year. I hope you are feeling colorful and optimistic. Unless you're that kind of person, unless you like a dreary day, a monochrome, maybe that's what makes you happy. I hope you're able to enjoy that as well. Either way, thanks for sticking in our Patreon. Thanks for, believing in the freaks of the Reject Nation and not rejecting us for our outward appearances, but for our inward qualities. You're a good dude, James Smith, and I hope you're having a merry holiday season and a happy new year.
That was surprisingly normal.
I pull the normals out for the weird shows, man. That's how I like to create irony. That's what we call irony.
Brace myself for a roller coaster, and then here we are, like, oh wow, that was it. We didn't no drops, no loops.
Called subversions, G.
Yeah, it's one hell of a subversion.
There's a Y in Wednesday, James Smith, which means that the heart of your last name is the end of Wednesday's name, which makes you the thing of the.
Happy New Year.